I'm not just saying it, but they did one film at one time and tried to force another movie into there.
Force.
Man, God damn it. I said, I went at home, I was even looking in the mirror. Don't say force. Don't say force. Don't say force. Martin gonna fuck with you. Don't say force.
Midi-chlorians.
I think another thing that keeps people together is nice merchandise from dtmerch.com. Go over there and get your holy man. Stop putting up these pictures of Lando. Who's Gene, man? Shame on you, man. Stop it, y'all. Stop it with these pictures over here. dtmerch.com. Go over there and get your shirts, backpacks, jerseys, phone covers, 25% off selected items, and that is until May 25th. You can join several ways, and I say try using your Amazon account. Put it in there with our Amazon Pay button. Put what? Put your username, password in there, press send. Ooh, shit. DoubleToasted.com, Chicago. You see that we're at the Park West. That's going to be on June 30th. And the doors will be opening at 7 p.m. Show starting at 8. And that's going to be a long night of live comedy, games, prizes, music, one big party at the end of the night. Oh, good to have y'all. If you're listening, we do costumes sometimes, and Martin is in his Lando Calrissian costume right there. And it's funny because I walked to the bathroom to take a piss, and I saw Martin up there, and he had his glasses on, so I just stood there and just looked. I thought it was an old black woman with a dick.
They're like, oh, are they giving out hand jobs now?
And Martin started laughing at because he saw me over there just looking like,
you froze. As if I was death. God, it's your turn, Coleman.
Oh, yeah. I am usually not at a loss for words at all, but that moment I was like, shit, I thought it was a Tyler Perry movie in this bathroom right now. I'll let the Mexcellence come see the movie with me, and I'll bring him in here. Okay. You can stay. You don't got to go. I'm just saying.
You made it sound like you were telling him to get.
I was like, I realized how that sounded after I said it. Like, I didn't mean that. I was out, but yeah, come on in, man. Come on in. I'm just saying, since Sammy saw it. We usually have 3 people here. A lot of people been talking. They've been saying for years, man. You know something? I've been seeing Han Solo in all these Star Wars movies. I've been seeing him in, I've seen him in different things. I played Han Solo in video games, read him in comic books, the novels, and still, I just don't feel like I know the man. A lot of people like, that ain't me. I want to know about Lando. Just go with this right now. Chill. Shit. Come on, man. And some people say, I know this Solo that we see all the time, but what about Solo Jr.? I think,
What was he like before?
What was he like before? He's an asshole now, but I know at one time he had a heart. Something must have made him the hard ass that he is today. And that's what you get here with this movie, Solo. And there's been a lot of controversy with this. Actors can't act, directors can't direct, producers can't produce. Oh, this movie's in trouble, man. Y'all might as well just bring on that Lando movie right now, because this one is a bust. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a look at some of this trailer right here.
So glad we took this job!
Is Chewie gonna be okay?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Speaking of Chewie, yeah. How did he meet? When are we gonna get that when Chewie met Han movie? Is it here? Do we get to see it? And some of y'all out there, y'all done heard all the bad news and everything, and y'all still like, well, I ain't convinced yet. It looks all right, but I heard in this movie that boy can't act. Alden Ehrenreich. I heard he had to have acting classes. I heard he was the main one fucking up the film. Everybody got to stop for him to do his job, acting. And let me tell y'all something. Leave this boy alone. Can we?
That's the exact thing I thought. Leave this boy alone.
As I was even I jumped on him a little bit. I was like, oh, it don't sound good. But even I had to look at myself in the mirror. Why you being an asshole, man? And you know what? Really, now the movie's out, can we leave this boy alone? Because I'm going to tell you, this is the big question for everybody. Now, I can only speak for myself. I thought he's good. Regardless of what I think about this whole movie, I thought that for what they were trying to get out of this, and the words of Harrison Ford himself, he nailed it. This boy has been in about 3 movies that I know of. 3 movies, and in every one of those movies, people have said that he's good. He's a good actor. Sometimes they say that he's probably the best part of the movie. I remember Hail Caesar.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar, everybody was talking about how the movie's okay, it's all right, whatever. But, oh man, that Alden Ehrenreich kid, he's pretty good.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that
Maybe just him on the set of Solo.
That was the acting lesson you had.
Somebody get Voldemort to help him out.
Do you agree with him? I know you agree with him a little bit more so, right?
And no, I agree with him 100%. Going into it, that was my biggest fear. I was like, well, okay, everything else about this looks good, and I know him to be a good actor because I like him and everything I see him in. And it becomes apparent early, just right off the bat, that like, wait, this is Han Solo much younger before he's anything as we see him, and he's playing this well. This is how you should do it.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be trying to do it
yeah.
in imitation the whole
Yeah.
time.
You know, Han Solo, the thing is, listen, I know y'all look at me and y'all like, you thought I was this cool my whole life. I was not.
He was not.
No. And you ain't now, bitch. No.
Corey, you want to drink? Oh no, I don't drink alcohol.
The devil's juice.
Yes. Mother said I should not. No, man. And neither was Solo. You got to remember, this is I'm not even joking. Han Solo was not that cool dude that he is now that
He's
y'all remember.
almost Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
It's early
yeah.
into
And
it.
that Han Solo that y'all know right now,
I love you.
I know.
she like, this motherfucker. You know what? Kill his ass. Put him that big old chunk of brown shit. You know that it's important to like take a look at that Han Solo just even for a brief moment, because you have to realize that of course Han Solo would be a different person, because you're looking at a Han Solo who not only was younger, but he was inexperienced.
Yeah.
He was reckless, and you get to see in just a short time of this movie where he goes from being green behind the ears to just kind of being gangster. Where by the end of the movie he's even a little bit cold-blooded.
By having you introduce kind of your points on it, it got me to realize what I really feel about this, because I don't think the portrayal is bad, because like you said, it's a younger Han Solo. He's not as cocky. He's not as what he is in the newer movies in the New Hope original trilogy. But that character is just so much more interesting, and I like that character so much more better. Obviously, better because he is not this scrappy kid. He's not this this kid who doesn't know what he's doing. He's kind of making things up as he goes along, and so he just wasn't interesting to me. And it wasn't until the very end where it's like, oh, now he's kind of getting glimpses of it. But even then, it wasn't enough to be like that. This is the guy that becomes the Han Solo that we know. So I'm not saying I want a clone, but even the growth that he had within this movie, I didn't feel like he was getting that edge, like he was getting that kind of foot in the gangster lifestyle,
Okay.
I don't know, just me though.
Do they go into saying like how much time takes place between like this and then A New Hope, or when Han Solo's introduced?
It's hard to tell because all these creatures live for hundreds of years.
I think it's about 20 from the end of the movie on, I think.
Okay.
Because only 6 years goes by in the time we're in the movie, so.
Yeah. So,
minor spoiler.
well, you know what? I mean, maybe people are like you. They're like, you know what? That's cool. If he pulled Han Solo off, I wasn't here to see that bitch anyway. Let me holler at Lando. Where he at? Hey, how's Lando doing? And I'm gonna tell you, man, Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. Now he nails it too, man. And what I like about it is that he's doing a little bit more of a Billy D. Williams impression than Alden. That's his name, Alden. Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich is doing a Harrison Ford impression, but he still was able to kind of make it his own. He's definitely channeling Billy D. Williams and his space pimpery, but he's still making his own thing. And what I liked about it too is that this Lando Calrissian, this is pre-processed. Lando pre-perm. Now you go, Corey. Now you still got the naps. I like it, man. I love that we got this look. In fact, I like this look of Lando more than I like the original. Because it's just like I said, man. Obviously he's going to a salon in space somewhere and getting his hair did.
Well, that's what a space pimp does.
That's what it does, man.
All he needs is lie.
Yeah. He's smooth, but he makes it his own by bringing an extra layer of horniness to it, in a way. You know,
Yeah.
you do know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you, because whenever he like I said, he's smooth, but you know when
He was falling in love in this movie.
I was. And man, it's easy.
I feel like you were in love already before you went in.
Man, it's easy to do with this character because for one thing, whenever he's talking to you, Billy D. Williams was charming. He come and look at he'll take your girl like
But you standing right
kiss
there.
her hand, would kiss her hand, everything, and talk.
Make
He
out
might
with
put-
her.
Yeah, exactly. He might push you out the way.
Yeah.
It's not your girl. But with this Lando right here, you walk up with your girl and he's smiling and staring at both of y'all a little too long. Like y'all know both y'all gonna get fucked, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There's something about this Han Solo that they make it seem like that he's extra horny.
This Lando.
I mean, this Lando. And there was even an article out there where it says Donald Glover, he confirms that Lando Calrissian is pansexual. And they talking about does this count as re-representation? You know what? For whatever the controversy is with that, I see it. And the movie lays it down. They make it clear that this Lando is a hoe. He will fuck not anybody,
Anything.
but anything. Shit just don't move when they're around. He's like,
Yeah, you got that vacuum cleaner stolen from you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, well, what is this?
It'll work.
No, and the vacuum cleaner won't come back. Baby!
I thought he was good, but I wasn't loving him the way you are.
Okay, look, that's a good question. Did you like Solo better than?
Surprisingly, yes. And I completely expected it to be the opposite way. It's just with Donald Glover, it felt too many times, too much like, is Donald Glover doing an impression of Billy D. Williams? And there were only few moments when, there weren't as many moments as I would have liked where he was just living the character himself and not trying to play this actor doing the character.
As much as I'm gonna hand it to you. I just want before I forget. As much as it seemed like I'm in love with this character, I thought that Alden Ehrenreich was doing a better job.
Yeah,
it was really more his character.
I know. I was really surprised by that. I was like, all right, he's doing this, and then I'm going to start getting in the groove. I'm like, I feel like he's still doing it. I'm going with it. I'm not hating on it, but it's still very apparent to me. It's taking me out of the movie.
Do you think it's because we know Donald Glover's character? Like what he is like in because we've seen him in interviews and
No. Because I even wondered that. I was like, all right, am I just reacting because everybody's in love with him? Shit, we did 2 shows dedicated to him already. But it was just I'm just like I'm listening to the voice and it's like I feel like he's ready to break into a Colt 45 commercial.
And you know something? I'm gonna pass this on to you, but it's a good point to actually show that clip. Now, I will say this much: you got to hear the voice because he's right. To me, that voice sounds like he's he's acting. Where Alden Ehrenreich seemed like it was real. But I will say this: when Solo and Lando get together, it's hot. It's no. And when Lando and Solo
They
get together,
play off each other well.
They play off each other. Those scenes are so much fun, and you will immediately hear what Martin and myself is talking about with the voice that Donald Glover's doing. I'm not saying it's bad, but you can definitely hear something that says, okay, he is doing a Billy D. Williams impression.
Can I ask you a question, Captain Calrissian?
Anything, Han? That's Han, but that's okay. Everything you've heard about me is true.
I heard you was a bitch. It's true. Wait a minute. Hey, wait, what?
Spend my time on the bottom sometimes. I'm an equal opportunity lover.
He would actually say that.
Oh, well, now that you put it that way. Yeah.
Damn, he's cool again.
See, I've been on the Lando boat for decades.
Sure.
I've been wanting a Lando movie for the longest time. I said even before Han Solo because he's a little bit older than Han in my understanding of the story or whatever have you. So at this moment here, he already has just a little more personality. And you guys say that he's doing an impression of Billy D. Williams, but I honestly think that the Lando in the movies, in the original series, that is a show already. So that kind of cool facade and everything, I think that's a show. So it didn't bother me as much that he was putting on this show, and then when things started getting hectic or he was shooting stuff, the Donald Glover started peeking out. His voice cracks at one point, and it started sounding a little more natural. So to me, it actually worked a little bit better because the whole Billy D is the front.
Yeah.
The cool
Okay, that's an interesting point.
I'm
That
the
is.
guy with the all the stories are true, but then shit goes down. He's like, hey, wait a minute, no, and he's using a different voice, a different tone of voice.
Yeah.
That's Donald Glover's. So
Yeah.
I really liked him in this movie.
I would tell you this much. I think that I think that Lando is a more interesting character. I still would rather see a movie about him. I just think that there's just more to him.
He still has that mystique around him too, I'm assuming, because like I mean, this is Solo's film, but you're introduced to him and he's in this middle of this game. And it looks like he just got finished doing some debaucherous shit.
Oh yeah, hands still stinking in there.
No, he's shady.
He's a scumbag, man.
Yeah,
he really is. No, he's a shitty person, and I like that they established that too. You know what I like about that scene too, man? I tell you who needs a movie. Chewbacca, because in every movie,
does.
Yeah, no, he really does. In every movie where Chewbacca is, I want y'all to notice this. Chewbacca's always hiding behind some corner, ready to whoop a motherfucker's ass.
Back to the wall.
Yeah, he's always hiding behind. He's waiting for some shit to go down all the time. If you ever look at Star Wars, whenever Han is talking to somebody or doing something, Chewie just walking by in the background. Just let me know if I need to get the motherfucker in.
Big ass podcaster.
Yeah,
He did pop Kylo real quick after he got home.
I would like to know what you guys think about Woody Harrelson. I can't remember his character's name, but he's this.
They say it a bunch of times too.
I know
Beckett.
Yeah,
Beckett.
He's this big. Damn, boy, you all right? We said Woody Harrelson. It's because we said Woody. Because I said Woody Harrelson. He's like Woody. He said Woody. You childish motherfucker, man. Look at you.
He said Woody.
But we have children in the room. So Mr. Harrelson in the movie, I really like him. Now I will say that with his character, man, he is nothing but. If you listen to it, he really is nothing but Woody Harrelson in space. Yeah.
Think. You want to make that move. You want to make that move. No, you can't wipe them off. They're holograms. Hey.
He turns around, shit.
Yeah, this looks like Woody Harrelson in space. He look high as hell right here. You can't wipe him off, man. It's a hologram.
I think that he interacts well with the other characters,
Which is what Woody Harrelson does.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, when he steps into the Hunger Games, he's that character. Even though he's the drunken trainer, he interacts well with everybody. He's the bridge.
He's the guy. He's the bridge between us and the audience sometimes because he's the guy that we relate to. Like he's not that movie guy. Oh, the Hunger Games. He's like, man, I'm fucked up. Let's get this shit over.
Either kill these kids or don't. I got places to be.
Yeah, exactly, man. I like the character just because Woody Harrelson is likable. He's not like. He takes up a large portion of the movie, but he's not always the main focus. He's there when he needs to be.
I mean, he was fine. Like, really, he was Woody Harrelson. He served a purpose narratively to just kind of, all right, Han Solo, I'm going to kind of show you the ropes of being a bounty hunter, or not bounty hunter, but smuggler and all this stuff. So, I mean, he was more so, like you said, just the bridge. So he had character points to him, but in my head, I was like, well, he doesn't show up anywhere later in the future, so, he's only going to play this role, and then, that's going to be it. And the whole kind of arc of things. So he served his purpose. That was it.
He doesn't knock my socks off, but he's solid.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good word. Solid.
He gets the job done. He gets the job done. He commands my attention when he's on. I'm very interested in what he has to say, even though he's there to drive the plot.
I feel like even though I haven't seen this, I feel like he has expendable stamped on his forehead. I know y'all can't say nothing because no spoilers, but I feel like he's going to get the business in this film.
You're really trying to trap us now.
I'm trying to trap you.
You're putting a Kendrick Lamar right now.
Take this mic. Sing my song right quick, homie.
Everybody dies. One of the things that the movie has been getting criticized for is, I've heard a couple things here and there. It's for being simplistic. People don't like the simplicity of this. Chunks of this movie are different genres. Each one is so short that they're just basic formulas for those genres. You're not going to see anything new, different at all. In fact, you've seen everything that they do here in little mini things, little mini genres. You've seen it done better 100 times over, man. But the characters keep it moving, and for that, I don't mind the simplicity of this. If there was ever a time to just get down to some straightforward, just simple, straightforward adventure storytelling, it's now. The thing that I love about this is they're not getting into the things that are played out with Star Wars. I'm not a big fan of these Star Wars movies. Force Awakens, I saw that and I was underwhelmed by it. I was even more underwhelmed by Last Jedi. And the reason why I feel this way about these movies is because to me, they're forcing the epicness of these films. where Lucas had a straightforward vision for these movies, it looks like they are really making this up as they go along.
Sure.
You know, but they seem more like studio produced movies.
It seemed like they're done by committee as opposed to one mind.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
And that committee says, we got to make it bigger. We got to make it bigger.
Yeah, say what you will about George Lucas. You know, I hate the prequels, but I will give the man credit for having a vision where this is just something that is really produced to meet the demand to make a profit. Not saying that these are bad. I mean, I have fun with them, but, you know, they're making up these grandiose stories and the mythologies as they go along. A movie, finally, where we don't have to deal with the Force. I'm glad we ain't got to play with these played out mythologies that have already been in there. The Skywalkers, that I fuck Skywalkers, man. You know they done had
enough with that whole bloodline.
They had 40 years to get their shit straight.
They're still
fucking up.
Yeah,
still fighting.
Yeah, I'm tired of these old decrepit ass emperors that keep popping up. You know, I would even say that I like these offshoot movies that are stepping away from the main storyline, the main blockbusters. This is no exception right here. How do you feel about this?
Oh, I'm right there with you, boss. Because with Star Wars, it's almost like you said. People complain about the simplicity. It's like, well, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because so many people, The Last Jedi was so polarizing, and with some people going like, what was that? There was so many different things going on. I couldn't understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you have it, hey, this is pared down. It's really all about one guy, one overall mission. It's in a world you're somewhat familiar with, but it expands on it. You get to see more of it, which we've been wanting to see. But it keeps it where if there's no way you should not understand what's happening here.
Yeah.
Like if you walk out going like, man, I couldn't even tell what's going on. You should be embarrassed.
Yeah, you really should. I'm telling you, they make it as basic as they can for you.
Well, with I remember we had Rogue One. He said one of the issues I think we kind of everybody agreed on it was with these characters you really couldn't like get in tune with them. You didn't have a lot of time to spend with them. They just kind of felt like pieces to in a whole grand scheme.
Yeah.
Were you able to like get close to these characters in this or be endeared to them?
Well, that was the thing because the people that were the biggest part of this movie, you already knew who they were: Chewbacca, Han, Lando, and stuff. Everyone else either served a very basic purpose, like Woody Harrelson, or they were such an archetype of a character that you already knew kind of what they were about and just were wondering, what does the plot have to say this person have to do because they were just so bland in every other way.
Yeah, so. and for me, I
guess I was going to say not so much bland, but archetypes. Like we've seen them so much, you kind of know.
Goofy pilot,
Femme Fatale, the gangster.
Yeah. They even archetypes of Star Wars. You always get that weird little creature. It's always some little short, monkey looking ass creature, and some,
a sassy robot.
A sassy robot. They even like archetypes of that. But again, you're either going to go with it because, as I said, this is not meant to be by design. It's not meant to be deep. It's meant to be fun. You're going to hear me say that a lot probably doing this review before it's over with. It's meant to be fun. I am so happy that this is way before Empire. The Empire was doing anything. There's not one goddamn Death Star to be found anywhere here.
Thank God.
Yes, there's no Death Star.
There's one thing at the beginning that they're building, but other than that, that's really it. And then stormtroopers exist.
Well, but it shows you the Empire in a way that you haven't really seen, and more like this is how it is to live with the Empire on the day to day.
Yeah,
and I appreciated that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. This is the kind of movie where pre-Empire. The galaxy is a shitty place, man.
It is.
I mean, because you look at this and you start thinking, well, maybe the Empire has a point.
And that's to me that was always one of the big flaws of Star Wars because the Empire dresses up like Nazis, and kills their lieutenants.
And they all have British accents.
And all have British accents. You go, oh well, these are the bad guys. But outside of that, if you were to like sit and talk with them, you might go, I don't agree with everything, but some of this they're saying, maybe should listen.
They got some points.
I mean, they had to do some stuff in the movie, like when they're at the scene of the trailer where he's like, I want to be a pilot, whatever. They're beating the hell out of some people in that scene, though, man. They're like ice.
We don't know what he did, though.
They're in line, man. They're just in line as families and shit like that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Gestapo, man. Like,
the details of what they do is horrible.
Right.
I mean, are horrible. But their overall vision
on a galactic scale,
I don't know. Maybe there's something to it.
And I'm not exaggerating here. It is lawless.
Yeah.
In this land right here, everyone is out for themselves. I mean, it is dirty, it is grimy, and I'm talking about the people.
Right.
But really, the main stories are these really these righteous
plucky,
people,
these plucky rebels who are gonna,
and these space Nazis, you know,
Fight for what you love, you guys. That's
space Jews and space Nazis, you know, it's a and
That's the Jedi.
yeah, man.
that's a Mel Brooks movie.
We need that movie now. Overall, it really is more like a Western where everybody has a shade of being immoral to them. Everybody's done some dirt. It lends itself to the story because it makes the story unpredictable with there's lots of twists, there's lots of backstabbing. You really don't know who's on what side, and nobody's on any side really at some point.
Yeah, and I don't know that the twists are all that exciting or it's all that unpredictable, but it is in little ways, in as much as you realize every character could stab you in the back, but every character also could do a noble act.
Yeah, you don't know, and it's you know it adds a little, when I say tension, nothing scary or anything, but it adds a little tension in certain scenes. And you know what, if you want to know what else about this world that works, because everybody thought, y'all weren't giving this movie a chance, because everybody talking about, oh, now we get to learn about Han Solo. The reason why he's so hard, because he crying over a bitch. Somebody broke his heart. That's why he's so stone cold right now. And it's like, nah, man, it's not. He's whining over a woman. It's not that at all. I mean, that's not even a spoiler. I'm telling you something good here, so you don't go in thinking that. It's this world that he's living in.
True.
That's making him
Just
what he
beat
is.
him down.
It really is, man. It is a hard place, and you realize, the girl is the least of his troubles, actually.
For me personally, it didn't work. It didn't work in the way where it was like, you know what? He's doing this for her, or he's doing this because he loves her, or this and that, or their relationship was super strong.
Well, I've been praising this movie a lot so far, and you hit on something at the right time, because that's exactly how I felt about a lot of elements in the movie. If something wasn't good in the film, it was probably because they were doing two different films at the same time. I'm not the same, but they did one film at one time and tried to force another movie into there.
Force.
Man, God damn it! I said, I would at home. I said, I was even looking in the mirror. Don't say force. Don't say force. Don't say force. Martin gonna fuck with you. Don't say force.
Midi-chlorians. Yeah, the other word.
Yeah, man. You got me. I did that to myself. There are moments where it feels like if anybody's been keeping up with the history of this, you had Chris Miller and Phil Lord. Those are the guys that did the Lego movie, and they were directing this at first, and it has been rumored that they would take it off because they were making more of a improvisational comedy with this. And no one will probably ever know, unless you were there a part of the process, what happened. But can I say I could feel like there are moments of that in the movie? Yeah, there are a lot of terrible jokes. It's a little bit of a comedy in here. And that's probably the Phil Lord, Chris Miller part. And if so, I can see why Kathleen Kennedy came in and said, "Get your ass over here." What the hell are you doing?
Jokes?
Look like I'm laughing, motherfucker. And Chris Miller and Phil Lord probably had a different vision with more jokes.
Yeah,
more. They got masturbation jokes in here. They got they got children's humor in here. Almost at the beginning of the movie, where it just makes the movie stop. Even some of the creatures in this movie are just corny. Mm-hmm. The beginning of the movie, Han Solo's talking to a Muppet. I ain't talking about no space creature. I'm talking about some shit on a stick that's moving around. And I was talking to Bo outside the theater. He's like, because he liked the movie too. This a friend of ours named Bo, but he's like, man, I saw that Muppet pop up, and I was like, it is too early for this shit. It's like,
yeah. I'm all for practical effects, but whenever they go that far as to pull out Muppets, I'm like, you took it too far.
Yeah,
really.
Whenever somebody would tell me, "Oh man, you gotta watch Farscape. It's good." And I turned it on and saw there were Muppets on the bridge. I was like, I am watching this.
Those two old guys on the balcony. And there are some scenes in the movie that turn into slapstick. There's a whole scene with robots in this movie. I'm not gonna say what it is, but there's a whole scene with robots in the movie, and it's just it just seems awkward. It just seems out of place because they have this moment where they're trying to make it serious. They're trying to make an adventure movie, and they're trying to make a comedy, and almost like a kid's comedy at the same time. I will say, in lieu of that, this has probably one of the most emotional scenes in that I've seen between a human and a robot in any Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Or any movie at all, man. And you know what? Speaking of robots, I like the character of L3 sometimes, and sometimes I can't stand her.
I thought it was like, okay, this is like a modern SJW. Where she's kind of almost annoying to the point where it's like, yeah, I want rights. I want to be treated equal. Robots, don't do this. You know, like she's very pro-robot. And I think in the backstory, which they don't explain in the movie, she built herself.
Yeah, that's
like that was in some of the promo material. So that's why. So
Okay, I was like, where are you putting
No, they
this
don't.
from?
We're not spoiling
making
anything.
it up.
No. It's
in the literature.
Yeah,
it's out there.
It's
Like,
backstory that they've given in articles and
the
whatnot.
promo material. So
Okay.
yeah, but they don't mention that once, and so it's just not like so you don't have the context behind why a robot would just be like so militant towards robot.
Yeah, that you know what, that
kind.
would explain it more than it seeming like writers who just thought, oh, this will be a funny thing. To
It would
throw
be
in
a
there.
fun thing to explore, but they make it a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie that comes together more in the second half than it does in the first half. That first half, now again, we don't know because the movie's just shot out of sequence, but it really does feel like, all right, Ron Howard had to come in and just deal with this first half and try to clean it up as much as he can, and then when it gets in the second half, that's when he had full control of being able to do what he needed to do.
So this kind of suffered from Justice League syndrome.
No.
I mean, that was an issue of like having two directors trying to make two different types of movies and they clash.
You know what?
with each
For
other.
some people, maybe, but again, that
just not that drastic.
okay. I mean, it's a much better movie than.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. But yeah,
it wasn't Ron Howard shitting on film.
No, you know what? Yes, in that case, it does seem like this. Yeah. It's it's clear there were two different people on this movie.
CGI Lando's mustache, and it was weird though.
No, it was just a perm on his lip.
Sorry. I'm like,
You will roll your eyes at a throwback here.
Yes.
You know, there's a moment where there's a moment where.
I mean, you just showed one. Woody Harrelson playing that chess game. That's
Oh,
been
yeah.
on
Oh, yeah.
Old Star Wars and Force Awakens and this.
Oh no, exactly. You know, but that's a small thing. Okay, you can say that's just part of Star
Yeah, it
Wars, that
makes
world.
sense.
that's part of the Falcon.
Yeah, no, there's a moment where Solo and Chewbacca, Han Solo and Chewbacca, they look at the screen and say, now let's go do that thing that everybody knows from that other movie. You know?
Oh, no.
Yeah, man. I mean, they might as well just looked at the camera like, y'all know what we're talking about.
And then there's other like smaller references. There was one reference that I had to ask somebody that we knew because it was such a deep cut. It was so deep into the mythology.
It was for
that-
the nerds.
It was for the nerds to the point where it was something where it's like, I'll even say it's from a video game. They make a video game reference in this movie at one particular point that's not a character, that's not anything like that. And one guy was like, ha, I got that.
Yeah,
and I'm
that
like,
dude,
oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's
man.
like,
but
yep.
but if nobody notices it and they don't stop the movie to do it,
Right.
is it bad?
Was it The Last Jedi where they had that whole ironing thing come down? And
Yeah.
it was like, oh, that's from like this old ass TV show or old ass movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
movie like stopped for that and people like laughed.
Yeah.
But if they just threw something in there that just kind of went by and it didn't really detract from anybody else.
Yeah, most of those I would just see them kind of buzz by real quick. I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like in Rogue One where it's like, hey, look at there's C-3PO and R2-D2 are
Right.
hanging out. I will say there was none of that bad.
No.
But when it comes to things like the gun, when it comes to things like it's like okay, yeah, okay. These
But
are
even
things.
then, because you saw it in the trailer, this is
Yeah,
not
well,
a,
these
this
are
is
in
not
the
a
trailer.
spoiler.
Everything's in the trailer.
Everybody complained about him getting the gun. I mean, that goes by so quick.
It does. It'd be
doesn't bother
different
me.
if he's like, oh man, this gun is sweet. Oh, you're
Yeah.
my baby. I'm gonna always keep you around.
Hope you get frozen in carbonite.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? This movie, it's about to get out of here without having to reference some other tie-in
I
to the
know.
movie.
I know.
And
That was egregious.
And when they did it, I was like, I know you didn't just do this.
Plus, I was all like, wait a minute. Well, how does that fit in the timeline? Because if this and then that, and that would make them way too old. And so,
Shut up, nostalgia.
Yeah, no. Oh no.
No, it's not that one. It's another time it happened. You know.
Yeah, no.
That's gonna be the cop out. It's another time it happened because so on and so
I
forth.
was almost speechless. I was like, we were almost gone.
Yeah.
Y'all couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. You know, it's like
it wouldn't have happened if they hadn't fucked up the film halfway through. Because it happened at our screening. It just went black, but the sound kept playing.
Oh, and they had to rewind the movie. No, seriously. The dude in the projection room got out a remote control for a DVD player and rewinded the shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We skipped back 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I wish it was less, but it was 20 minutes.
Yeah, and everybody's like, no, dude,
Stop! Speaking of throwbacks here, you know, they got one major one, and throughout these movies here, man, you know, all of them, we've been having to deal with Han Solo. Han Solo been bragging for years, y'all. Y'all know I made the Kessel Run in 12 parts. Yeah, we heard it, man. 12 parsecs. Yeah, whatever. You know, and when you hear it over and over and over again, it's like, listen, You done told that story so many times, it can't nearly be as cool if you saw it than the way you tell it. And they showed in the movie, and it was pretty fucking cool.
Good going on.
He's like, it's just like that time in Star Wars. Remember that? Now, I don't know if it'll work for some people because they kind of put in an obligatory John Williams score.
Yeah.
And also, it for some people will be like, you know what? I really didn't really need to know about the Kessel Run for all the Star Wars nerds out there. Yeah. It really was something that was a story that was told. But I thought it was a cool sequence in the movie. Probably, I mean, it did feel like they were forcing that theme in there. But whatever, man. I had fun with that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
It's because they did the scene well that it worked.
It's it's only like a little mini movie. That we see in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. They cram in a lot of how he got his so-and-so in that first few minutes of The Last Crusade. They got things in there like how he got his whip, which is stupid, man. Which, he felt, because if anybody sees this, this movie gets a lot of credit for being a great Indiana Jones film.
It's funny you say that because Master Pancake is going to be doing it this weekend.
And after looking at it today, look, I still love this movie. I really do. It's just not going to change. But I looked at it today and I was like, yeah, this is a little corny, man.
It's my heroin.
Ow! You're like, fuck!
See, I've not seen this movie, so I'm just like, what the fuck
Well,
is happening?
you right there. It's like, they really crammed two things together. It's like, they got that peanut butter and that chocolate in it. It's like, not only did he find his whip, but they show how he got his scar too. And I will say, for some people who cheered this on, they're gonna look at Solo and be like, this is corny. And I can get it because this is shorter and Solo is longer, but it is that kind of feeling that's going on in there.
Just in defense of this movie, just the historical context, no pun intended. This movie is considered great because the one before it was not.
What, Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Temple of
That's
Doom.
the best one. Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the best one.
For me, that's the best one.
Yeah, it opens with them jumping out of an airplane on a raft and then sliding down a mountain.
I don't see what the problem is.
I like this. It's a movie that doesn't rely too much on played out Star Wars mythology, and that's fine. So this is a high matinee for me. I don't think no pun intended here, but this train wreck that they expect this movie to be, it's not that at all. You get a fun film with this.
I think it's a good movie. It's certainly fun. I mean, there was nothing in it I thought was bad per se, but everything for the most part it works. It's a good high matinee.
This movie works because it is so simple. Because if it were any more complicated, like it was, like The Last Jedi was, or even Force Awakens was, this wouldn't work at all. Everyone plays their role just fine. The one biggest thing I complain about is something we'll talk about in the spoiler talk, but most importantly, the villain. The villain is just generic bad guy. It's Vision, right?
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he shows up and then he goes away for like 40 minutes, comes back real quick, and then goes away for another 40 minutes, and then he's our big bad guy. It ends up being a lower matinee, but not like a non-enjoyable matinee. I really enjoyed it.
I think Star Wars is better when people aren't under the constraints of the Force, and the Empire and everything that they've been doing. That main storyline, these stories for me are much better. Rogue One is still my favorite over this.
Of the new stuff?
I love Rogue One, but this right here, I could see this again just to have a good time.
Right. Yeah, and I'm on the same boat with you. So, but I wouldn't pay full price for it. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
and you didn't.
And I did. I saw 15 minutes extra.
I got a quiz for you. Which Star Wars movie was this from?
Han Solo.
You know this?
Yeah, I know this.
Yeah, everybody celebrate dance. Solo ain't bad, man. I like when Solo's dancing. He's looking right at you with every move.
Not blinking.
Yeah, bitch, I'm looking at you.
And Force Awakens raped your childhood. Yeah, that was the one.
Funny, that's in Force Awakens, man.
extended cut.
Yeah.